Welcome back to Zen Zone Health. Today we're tackling feeling lonely even when surrounded by people. Stay tuned because we're about to get real, get honest, and get you on the path to feeling truly connected. Let's talk about facades, folks. Pretending to be someone you're not to fit in. How can you build genuine connections when you're hiding your true self? You're attracting people to a facade, not to the beautiful, messy, complex individual you are underneath. Trust me, the people who are meant to be in your life will love you all the more for it. Some folks fall into the trap of thinking they have to do everything themselves. Vulnerability, asking for help when you need it, that's not a weakness, it's courage. When you constantly refuse help, people stop offering. You are worthy of love, support, and connection just as you are. Reach out, ask for help, let people in, let them share the load. Let's talk about the comparison game, folks. It's a real joy stealer and a connection killer. Comparison is a recipe for misery. It breeds resentment, envy, feelings of inadequacy. Focus on what you're grateful for in your own life. Celebrate your own accomplishments. Remember, everyone is fighting their own battles, facing their own challenges. You are not alone. Sometimes loneliness isn't about a lack of people in your life, but a lack of closeness in the relationships you do have. You're craving intimacy, folks, that feeling of being truly seen, heard, and understood. Make time for quality time. Have those heart-to-heart conversations. Closeness is a two-way street built on trust, vulnerability, and a whole lot of heart. Introverts, you recharge in solitude. Social interaction can be draining for you. That need for solitude, if not managed well, can lead to isolation, which then morphs into loneliness. The key is finding that balance. Set boundaries, protect your energy, but also make time for meaningful connections. Quality trumps quantity every time. Focus on cultivating those few deep, meaningful relationships with people who appreciate you for who you are. Let's talk about walls, folks. Not the physical ones made of bricks and mortar, but the invisible ones we construct around our hearts and minds. These walls are built from our fears, our past hurts, and our desire to shield ourselves from future pain. Those emotional barriers we put up to protect ourselves from getting hurt, they seem like a good idea at first, a way to keep the bad stuff out. But what we often don't realize is that these walls also keep out the good stuff. Walls might keep out the pain, but they also keep out the love. They create a barrier that prevents us from truly connecting with others. We might feel safe, but we also feel isolated, cut off from the warmth and joy that come from genuine human connection. When you're guarded, you prevent yourself from experiencing the joy, the intimacy, the deep connection that comes with letting someone truly see you. It's like living in a fortress where no one can get in. But you also can't get out to experience the world fully. Start by identifying why you built them in the first place. Reflect on your past experiences, the moments that led you to believe that building these walls was necessary. Understanding the root cause is the first step towards dismantling them. What are you afraid of? Is it the fear of rejection, the fear of being hurt again, or perhaps the fear of being vulnerable? These fears are valid, but they shouldn't control your life. What are you protecting yourself from? Sometimes the things we fear the most are the very things that can help us grow and heal. By keeping them out, we also keep out the opportunities for growth and healing. Start with small acts of vulnerability. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. Begin with something simple like sharing a laugh with a friend or opening up about a small worry. Share a personal story with a trusted friend. True connection requires vulnerability. It's about letting someone see the real you, not just the parts you're comfortable showing. It requires taking a risk, opening your heart. Yes, there's a chance you might get hurt, but there's also a chance you'll find the connection and support you've been longing for. Remember, the high cost of protection is often the loss of the very things that make life worth living. So, take a step, lower your walls, and let the world in. This next one's a tough one, folks. It's a topic that touches the very core of our being and can be quite emotional to discuss. It's about how our early childhood experiences can impact our ability to form healthy, secure attachments later in life. Imagine a child who feels alone, isolated, and unable to connect with those around them. These early years are crucial as they lay the foundation for our future relationships. Those early bonds form the blueprint for how we view ourselves and our relationships with others. When a child experiences love, care, and consistency, they learn to trust and feel secure. They develop a sense of self-worth and the ability to form meaningful connections. However, if those early experiences were characterized by neglect, inconsistency, or trauma, it can make it challenging to trust, to be vulnerable. A child who faces such hardships may grow up feeling unworthy of love, constantly on guard, and unable to fully open up to others. This can lead to a lifetime of struggles in forming and maintaining relationships. Therapy can be incredibly helpful in these cases. It offers a chance to revisit those early experiences in a safe and controlled environment. Through therapy, individuals can begin to understand the impact of their past and work towards healing those deep-seated wounds. It provides a safe, supportive space to explore those early wounds and start rewriting the narrative. With the guidance of a compassionate therapist, individuals can learn to build new, healthier patterns of attachment. They can start to trust again, to be vulnerable, and to form the meaningful connections they deserve. It's a journey of self-discovery and healing, one that can lead to a more fulfilling and connected life. Let's talk about the friend gap, folks. In today's world, it's easier than ever to accumulate acquaintances. You might have hundreds of Facebook friends, but how many truly know your heart? There's a difference between acquaintances and true friends. Identify those acquaintances who you feel a genuine connection with. Reach out, invite them for a heart-to-heart conversation. Make time for quality time, the kind that allows for deeper connection to blossom. Social media, it's a double-edged sword, folks. On one hand, it offers us an incredible way to stay connected with friends and family no matter where they are in the world. It can be a great tool for staying connected, sharing moments, and even finding communities that share our interests and passions. But on the other hand, it can also be a breeding ground for loneliness, for comparison, for FOMO. The constant barrage of curated images and highlight reels can make us feel inadequate, as if our own lives don't measure up. Be mindful of how you're using it. Are you scrolling mindlessly, or are you engaging with content that truly enriches your life? It's important to take a step back and evaluate our relationship with social media. Are you using it to connect authentically or to escape from real life? The key is balance. It's easy to get lost in the digital world, but we must remember to ground ourselves in reality. Use social media in moderation. Prioritize real-life connections. Make time for face-to-face interactions, for conversations that don't involve a screen. Put down the phone, step away from the screen, and engage with the world around you. Go for a walk, meet up with friends, or simply enjoy a moment of solitude without the constant notifications. Remember, the digital world is just a tool, not a replacement for real life. Let's talk about codependency, folks. It's a recipe for loneliness, resentment, and a loss of self. In a codependent relationship, you rely on another person for your sense of self-worth, your identity, your emotional well-being. Breaking free from codependency requires setting boundaries, learning to assert your needs, rediscovering your passions. It's about shifting from a mindset of self-sacrifice to one of self-love and self-respect. Therapy can be incredibly helpful in this process. Life is full of twists and turns. These life transitions can be exciting, but also incredibly isolating. Change disrupts our routines, our support systems, our sense of normalcy. Embrace the unknown, the uncomfortable, the messy beauty of being in transition. Reach out, build new connections, find your tribe in this new chapter of your life. Remember, this is a season, not a sentence. You will find your footing again. We've explored the hidden reasons why you might be feeling lonely, even in a crowd. Connection is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, to be vulnerable, to let people see your true, authentic self. You are not alone. There are people who care about you, who want to see you thrive.